This is GFree Radio. Here's your host, Peter Stewart.
Episode 53 of the weekly GFree Radio Show, and this week we mark Celiac Awareness Month. In some parts of the world, Celiac Awareness Week here in the UK. We'll be telling you what's happening to mark the event in the UK and elsewhere, and as usual, we've got two interviews. In our first, Sally Allister tells us about how a trip to the supermarket or store one autumn-fall led to her setting up her Feel-Free Food company. Now, they have a whole range of GFree foods, with some sensational sounding pies firm favourites. Feel-Free Foods are great supporters of the show, as you will hear during today's episode. So it's great to hear from Sally about what they've done and what's in store for the future. And while Feel-Free Foods held a big event to mark Awareness Week last week, our second interviewee is holding a big bash this week. Ellis Ward is from perhaps the oldest gluten-free company in the UK. Barkat celebrates 20 years of trading this week. We speak to Ellis, who, along with his father, is one of the men behind it. How has the industry changed over those past 2 decades? Listen through to episode 53 to find out. And hear about their open day and what you can do to help spread the word about living G-free. Oh, talking about Celiac Awareness Week here in the UK, we've got here in front of me, this piece of paper here has got an embargoed press release about some fascinating new research and stats about the prevalence of celiac disease in the United Kingdom. I am banned from telling you anything more about this until this coming Monday. So make sure you're listening to this channel on Monday the 12th, and I'll let you know what that press release says and what those stats go on to say. Okay, so make sure you come back and listen to an extra special little nugget of the programme Monday the 12th right here. Also, we've got some news about other events over the past 7 days in the GFree world, including a fascinating breakthrough for a treatment for celiac disease. It's closer now than ever before, and we'll bring you the very latest on that. And of course, our GFree tweets of the week.
Feel free for gluten-free say feel free to polish off their pasta, devour their desserts, relish their ready meals, savour their savoury bakes, munch on their muffins, grab their granolas. Whew, there's certainly lots of choice in the Feel Free for gluten-free range. Visit feelfreefoods.co.uk.
Welcome to the show, and I should say, if you're expecting to hear the second part of our interview with Christine Bailey, the first part, of course, we had last week in the GFree Radio Show, then because of some late changes to the content of this week to mark the Awareness Week, you'll hear the second part of Christine's chat with us in the next episode. So the next episode of the GFree Radio Show for that second part of the interview with nutritionist Christine Bailey. So listen out for that. So it is Celiac UK's Awareness Week here in the UK, obviously, and they're launching a campaign to encourage all retailers to stock core gluten-free products. So the Awareness Week, the 12th to the 18th of May, and they're asking all of us to tell Celiac UK if their local stores stock 8 staple gluten-free items. So, fresh white and fresh brown bread, bread rolls, breakfast cereals, pasta, flour, crackers, and cereal bars. So just those 8 items, and certainly the big supermarket that I go to regularly certainly stocks those. The whole push follows a recent survey which showed 74% of Celiac UK members had to visit more than one supermarket to complete their free from shopping. Boy, oh boy, I must be really fortunate, mustn't I? 74%. Can't do that in one shop. Celiac UK says most of the larger stores do sell a good range, but we'd like to see a core gluten-free range in all stores. So I don't know whether by that they mean some of the smaller kind of high street versions of the big stores. So, you know, the express stores, or the ones which are attached to the local petrol stations or gas stations. It's increasingly difficult, of course. The more people we have on board, they say, the more people we can reach and raise awareness of celiac disease, and the greater demand for gluten-free food. And they say if you want to get involved with gluten-free Awareness Week, you can go to your local store, let us know what gluten-free items they have, hold an information stand in your local supermarket, give out leaflets and symptoms cards, ask your local dietitian to help you and others like you by holding a store tour, and take part in community fundraising, raise awareness and have a whole lot of fun. So it's really interesting to know what they're doing. Also, there's something else which they're up to as well. So we'll let you know about that in a few seconds' time, because I wanted to dodge to our friends in the United States, where they don't just, the US, some might say that they always do things bigger and better than the UK. Hold on, pass that salt cellar. Okay, so what are they doing over there for Celiac Awareness Month? Yeah, they got to go on better, haven't they? You guys, we have a week, you have a whole month. Celiac Awareness Month. Whole lot has changed, obviously, over the years, and what they've doing, a whole stack of events, both there and also, I should say, Celiac Awareness Month in Canada as well. I know lots of other countries around the world as well. And the National Foundation for Celiac Awareness has big plans to help shift the focus away from solely the gluten-free diet and back to celiac disease and non-celiac gluten sensitivity. So this May, they're launching the Heroes Within Us campaign. They say every one of us in the gluten-free community is a hero. Each time you talk to someone about celiac, you're going to be unveiling a community member who's making an impact in the lives of those around them. Each person who's doing an extraordinary thing, because in reality, they say, that is what a true hero is. I like this. Heroes don't always wear a cape, carry a sword, or act as a vigilante in the dark of the night. Real heroes are the people who are admired for their courage to take their own hardship and turn it into something positive for the greater good of others. You know what? If you are celebrating, commemorating, marking, or raising awareness in Celiac Awareness Month, then there's another couple of weeks of the month to go. So do keep in touch with us, gfreeradio@hotmail.com. Tell us what you're up to, and we will help spread the word, whichever country you are in. But back to the UK, where obviously I'm speaking to you from at the moment at our studios in London, England. Back to what Celiac UK are doing to celebrate Awareness Week. They're going to be hosting a Twitter chat with a different theme each day of the week. And of course, the good thing about Twitter is you can get involved wherever you are in the world and pitch in with your 2 pence worth or $2 worth or whatever unit of currency you've got, €2 worth. Monday the 12th of May is going to be the gluten-free diet. Tuesday the 13th, fundraising. Wednesday the 14th, research. Thursday the 15th, food labelling and shopping. Friday the 16th of May, cooking, and they say our dietitians and health experts will be on hand to answer your questions on those topics from 12:30 to 1:30 every day. Obviously, that's UK time, British summer time, which is GMT or Universal Time plus 1 hour. So whether you've got a question on how to tell if a product is gluten-free, how to cook gluten-free alternative grains, or just want to know what we're working on in the world of research, you can ask your question or tweet us at Celiac_UK. That's at Celiac_UK. British spelling of celiac with that pesky O. Make sure you use the Ask Celiac UK hashtag. So again, that's hashtag Ask COELIAC UK. And of course, as I say, anyone can get involved with that wherever you are in the world. So it'll be great to see you there. The GFree Radio Show. Hello, I'm Peter Stewart. Feel Free Foods got a brand new website at feelfreefoods.co.uk, and that new site has been launched to coincide with Celiac Awareness Week here in the UK. And they're launching a brand new range as well at the moment. So if you're listening to this on or before Saturday the 10th of May, then you may be able to see them at the York Gluten-Free Food Fair in the north of England. If not, you can obviously still keep an eye on their website and look out for announcements on Facebook and Twitter profiles. So it's been a fascinating and fabulous few years for Feel Free Foods. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? And the woman behind it all is Sally Allister.
I'm a celiac, unfortunately, and I have been for about 12 years, 13 years diagnosed. I had probably about 6 years of different visits to GPs and food diaries, various bits of stress counselling, because I was in quite a stressful environment in my work environment at the time. So all these things contributing to what the GP thought was IBS. And then I did a food diary and kind of had a bit of a tantrum and went to a different GP in the practice. And she basically said, well, it looks pretty obvious what it is. My first memory of feeling really unwell with my tummy was coming back from a holiday in Crete. I remember being doubled over on a car journey in the front seat. I just couldn't sit up straight. So I don't know whether that was a tummy bug that maybe triggered or whether it was just the whole stress-related thing that did it. I don't know. I mean, we have a little bit of a family history, not with celiac disease, but with some autoimmune diseases, so whether it's in the family anyway.
And then you decided to ditch your job and go into something far less stressful, like setting up by yourself a big food business.
At that time, we had a couple of the major retailers that were paying attention to the free-from sector, but it was at that time mixed in with the organic and just the health and well-being kind of sector in the supermarket. I went in one Saturday afternoon, the middle of October time, I would say, and the whole section that we'd been using to purchase my sort of larder had disappeared. And my husband asked one of the employees, and she said, oh, we've put all that stuff away until after Easter because we need the space for Christmas cards and then we need it for Easter eggs. So I kind of took one look at my husband and her and said, so what am I supposed to eat for the next 3 months? She was very helpful. She said, well, I can bring the trolley out with it all on from the back and you can take a look and see what you want and then just give me a shout when you're finished. And that's what happened in the middle of the store on a busy Saturday afternoon. I was rummaging around this trolley looking for the bits and pieces that I needed. So my husband had an IT background at that time. So I said, chuntering in the car, we need to build a website. Within about 5 months, we'd set up a website with 90 products on from various manufacturers in the UK that were all selling online at that time. So we thought if we were to be a gluten-free supermarket online, that might help people just be a one-stop shop really, rather than paying £6 or £7 delivery to each different online retailer. And that was, worked very well. But then we soon got requests for different products. And being a chef by trade, my husband said, well, why don't you try and make them? So we started the product development, and then Feel Free was born in about late 2009, early 2010.
And can you remember the very first item that you made and you put online yourself?
That will have been our steak and mushroom pie in our all butter pastry.
And you're still selling that today, aren't you? I've just been on your website.
Yep, that and the chicken and leek pie are some of our best sellers. We've just actually rebranded those. We've gone into a 2-tier system. Just like many of the retailers have their finest or extra special, we now have a sort of superior product in our range as well as our standard offering, so we can appeal to different markets and different needs. We've always tried to develop products that weren't on the market, and we've taken a lot of the feedback from our online site, which we still have today, to gauge what consumers are wanting and where the gaps are in the market. And what we've found is some of the products that we've since launched or developed and launched are ones that are on the market, but perhaps people are looking for different qualities or different flavours, or because we're dealing with some retailers that want us to add to our range so that we can offer a complementary set of products. So, for example, we're about to launch a range of pastas. It wasn't an avenue that we wanted to go down, but we've developed these pastas and we're going to launch them because it was a gap on the shelf that the retailers in the independent sector were asking us to fill. So it's been a bit of both developing products that are available, but also ones that and the driving force for the business where there are gaps in the market and we want to fill them with good quality products.
And the pies, if I think to the local supermarkets that I usually go to, and there's 3 or 4 big name supermarkets I go to, and I'm thinking about the pies, and I can only think of one other range of pies, and I think there are 2 flavours, and they're very thin, they're very small.
Yes.
Yours look, deep filled.
We do. We're from Yorkshire, and Yorkshire's got the pie centre, hasn't it? Really? So we don't, I mean, one of the key things for me is, just because you're a celiac today and you perhaps weren't tomorrow, you shouldn't have to change the way you eat in terms of the size of the product or the quality of the product. We have 2 pie ranges in the Feel Free brand. The indulgence range is a very deep filled. It's a 200 gram pie with between 18 and 20% meat content, and giving that indulgent eat. But then we have a smaller pie, which is 140 grams, which is in similar size to those that are currently commercially available with the other brand. And again, equally, good meat content there, 15 to 18%. But, a more affordable purchase for people who still want to enjoy a product but possibly haven't got the budget for the nice deep-filled pies.
Do you have your own indulgence? Is there a dessert or something that you think to yourself, I think it's time I did a quick taste test on that particular range?
Yeah, there's a number of things that we've identified that are missing from the market, and we've got 2 products that we are hopefully going to launch at the back end of this year. Even though I'm from Yorkshire, I didn't eat Yorkshire puddings to that extent before I was diagnosed, but then that was something I missed when I was diagnosed, so it's a bit weird, really.
Oh, you always want what you can't have. That's the thing.
Yeah. And a nice warm crusty baguette with bacon in, I think that would be freshly baked bread and smell of bacon. There's nothing like it.
Now, you've got you've got a big event which is happening for Celiac Awareness Month in the UK, haven't you? And you're also taking that opportunity to make a few changes, to do a bit more publicity and so on. Talk us through what you've got in mind. What's going on there, Sally?
For the Celiac Awareness Week, we've chosen that as the time to launch our new gluten-free pasta range. We're going to the York Food Fair, and we have competitions running on our website to win hampers of products, etc. We deal with Budgeons, Londis and nicer stores, so we've got some tastings going in across the country there. So details of that will be on the website, obviously, for Awareness Week, if anyone wants to go and try them. The corn pastas that we've developed may look a little bit more yellow than a conventional pasta, very rarely overcooks, and it also doesn't change the water into that horrible gloopy colour, is free from all the major allergens, and we've also got certification of the product being low GI, so it gives consumers that fuller feeling for longer and helps with the balancing of blood sugars for diabetics as well. So it's a kind of a product that suits more than the celiac community.
Now, several times, Sally, you've said in the future, and that's a secret, and later on this year. You're obviously going places. If people want to keep an eye on what you're doing and when new products are launched, and to buy the products that are out there at the moment, where can they find out more about you? Where do they have to click?
Well, we have a list of stock. It's on our newly launched website, which is feelfreefoods.co.uk. You can put your postcode in and see if the stock is near you. And we also can be purchase our products online on our sister website, which is the original website, which is glutenfree-direct.co.uk. We're talking to a number of retailers, so we're hoping to roll out a lot of products in the coming months.
So the last 4 or 5 years have been pretty big for you. It sounds though the next 4 or 5 years are going to be bigger still. You're going places, Sally?
Yeah, we're quite excited actually. Yeah, we've got there'll be news of some export contracts that we've got on our website very soon, which we're really excited about. And obviously, if people sign up to like our Facebook and our Twitter feeds, they'll find out, on a regular basis, where products are available as and when we get the listings. So we're quite excited about the future.
Sally Allister from Feel Free Foods. Now, as we approach our first birthday, you may have noticed a couple of changes to the show. For example, we have our first advert ever, which is absolutely fantastic. So really appreciate the help and support from Sally at feelfreefoods.co.uk. Now, if you would like an advert on the show as well and reach all those hundreds of pairs of ears every single month, then why don't you get in touch with us? It's gfreeradio@hotmail.com, and we'll talk about how you can get your advert on, get your credit on, get your message across to all those hundreds of pairs of ears who are probably after your product. Yeah, they want to know what you're selling. They want to taste your new item. They want to be pointed to your website. So, follow Sally and Feel Free Foods and follow in their footsteps. Is there anything else about the show that you'd like to comment on? Maybe its duration or its content, how often it's on, that kind of thing. Get in touch. We're here for you. Or it's kind of making a few little tinkers and changes here and there and so on and around the edges, because obviously we want to be providing you with the kind of information, the kind of show that you want to listen to, obviously. Still to come on this week's programme, 10 things you may not know about celiac disease. Also promising results for the first pharmacological tests for celiac disease, and it's really, really interesting stuff. Talking about Celiac Awareness Week as we were, that starts in the UK on Monday, and if I just reach over here, I have a press release here which says, please see below the press release from Celiac UK announcing an... Please note this is embargoed until Monday the 12th of May. So we can't actually put it in this week's episode per se, because as you know, we're always available on a Saturday. Dear oh dear, we don't want to wait a full week, do we, before we bring you this kind of news, because it is really, really interesting. It's quite stunning news. It is. Okay, I think I can say this. It's about the increase in the rate of diagnosed cases of celiac disease in the UK. Okay, we can't give you any more facts and figures until next week. This is embargoed until Monday the 12th of May. So what we're going to do is we'll bring you that in a special edition, a little nugget, if you like, a little GFree nugget of the GFree Radio Show. Come back here, wherever you found us today. We'll be here again on Monday, bringing you those facts and figures. GFree Tweets of the Week on the way as well. We've got another interview as well from our friends at Barkat, who are celebrating 20 years in the GFree food business here on the GFree Radio Show.
Feel free for gluten-free say feel free to polish off their pasta, devour their desserts, relish their ready meals, savour their savoury bakes, munch on their muffins, grab their granolas. Whew, there's certainly lots of choice in the Feel Free for gluten-free range. Visit feelfreefoods.co.uk.
So some more facts and figures from Celiac UK to mark Celiac Awareness Week here in the United Kingdom. And 1 in 100 people in the UK have celiac disease. That's number 1 in 10 things you may not know about celiac disease.
2.
500,000 people with the condition currently are undiagnosed in the UK today.
3.
The average time from onset of symptoms to diagnosis is 13 years.
4.
1 in 4 people diagnosed with celiac disease had previously been diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome.
5.
Undiagnosed celiac disease can lead to infertility, osteoporosis and small bowel cancer.
6.
There's no cure and no medication, and the only treatment is a strict gluten-free diet for life.
7.
Celiac disease is not an allergy or a food intolerance, but an autoimmune disease caused by intolerance to gluten.
8.
1 crumb of gluten can make someone ill, so it's essential there's no cross-contamination while preparing and serving food.
9.
There's no register by the National Health Service in the UK to state how many people in that country have been diagnosed with celiac disease.
10.
Celiac UK has an average of 1,200 new members joining each month. Well, a membership is available for anyone diagnosed, seeking a diagnosis, supporting a friend or a relative, or trying to find out more about the gluten-free diet. So those 10 things you may not know about celiac disease, and a couple of those, well, probably you might be aware about them anyway, I would have thought. Didn't know about number 10, that number of new members, incidentally. And, of course, all sorts of those stats are changing all of the time, as I hinted at a few moments ago. So make sure you come back here on Monday to find out more about that embargoed news release from Celiac UK. Now, some promising results for the first tests for a treatment for celiac disease. And guys, this is really very much a breakthrough. breakthrough. We use the word breakthrough reasonably often in the show. Don't like to suffer from hyperbole and over-exaggeration, because obviously we don't want to get hopes up. We've got to be realistic about all this, haven't we? However, looking at so many of these tests and results and trials and treatments and so on that we do here on the radio programme, this does seem to be a bit of a breakthrough. Let me tell you about it. It's treatment with lirozatide acetate. Lirozatide acetate, 0.5 milligrams 3 times a day, reduced gluten intolerance and non-gluten intolerant symptoms in a study of more than 800 patients, while also reducing the number of symptomatic days, in other words, the days on which patients report significant symptoms, by 26% through the duration of the study. However, it's really interesting. That's 0.5 milligrams 3 times a day. Give more lirozatide acetate and that number doesn't increase. Interesting stuff. So, treatment with lirozatide acetate 0.5 milligrams increased by 31% the number of days the patients reported few to no symptoms. The safety and tolerability profile of lirozatide acetate was comparable to placebo. We know what that is. No treatment-related serious adverse events were reported. This is really great stuff, isn't it? The study represents the first large therapeutic trial of celiac disease to meet its primary endpoint. This is what they're trying to do with this drug, of reducing the signs and symptoms of celiac disease. And, you know, this just goes on and on. Some really interesting stuff here. And it says that lirozatide acetate also significantly reduced non-GI symptoms such as headache and tiredness, which are commonly reported by celiac patients. A bit more on the report. If you do a little Google search for lirozatide acetate, it'll come up with some more if you want to do a bit of more reading in your own time. The primary endpoint of this study was, as I say, reducing GI symptoms using the celiac disease specific domains of gastrointestinal symptom rating scale, including diarrhea, indigestion and abdominal pain at the dose of 0.5 milligrams. This response was sustained through the active phase of the study, but as I mentioned a few seconds ago, using 1 milligram and 2 milligrams was not effective. That's consistent with all of the clinical challenge studies done previously. It was always the lowest dose that was the most effective, say researchers. So what happens now? Okay. In light of these positive trial results, lirozatide acetate 0.5 milligrams warrants further investigation now in phase 3 of clinical trials, or at least that's what they're going to go on to. So some really, really interesting stuff. I'm sure you'll agree. Lirozatide acetate, spell that for you if you want to do a quick Google. LARAZOTIDE and then ACETATE. Interesting stuff. You probably saw this over the past week or so. Heck, we can't do a GFree Radio Show every single day of the week. So you've probably seen this already. It was really widely reported, both in the specialist media, but also in the national general media as well. So just quickly run through some of this in case you didn't see it. Researchers have found a 2,000-year-old skeleton in Tuscany with early signs of gluten intolerance. The skeleton of the affluent young woman shows that celiac disease has existed for far longer than thought, according to the Mail Online. The woman's remains were found in an ancient tomb at the Cosa archaeological site on the Tuscan coast in Italy. Researchers said the woman was affluent and even tried to eat a paleo diet to deal with her problem. And why do they think this? Well, the skeleton of the woman showed signs of malnutrition and osteoporosis. And as we know, both can be complications of untreated celiac disease, which is characterised by the severe allergic reaction to the gluten. They found that the young woman would have consumed more meat, possibly fresh water fish and fewer plants than did people living in the area in the 6th century and medieval times. So reading about this, what seems to be the case is obviously they've got the clues that she was a little bit different. because of her bone formation and makeup and so on. So wouldn't it be fascinating to think that maybe she was eating the wheat, let's put it that way, and kept realising that made her unwell, put two and two together and thought, well, quite sensibly, I mean, it's kind of obvious, really, isn't it, to a certain extent, whenever I eat X, it makes me do Y, when I'm sure you know what Y could be. So maybe if I don't eat that, or maybe, you know, when there wasn't a good harvest or something like that, and she wasn't eating it, then she felt better. Hold on. This is a bit obvious. Let's eat more meat and more freshwater fish instead. So maybe she discovered that a little bit later on, hence how her bones had changed. Couple more items for you, and then we'll hop, skip and jump into our chat with Ellis Ward from the Barkat gluten-free food provider. And travelling across Europe, or indeed most places around the world. If you're a blogger, you're going to be particularly interested in this. It's something which has been provided by glutenfreeroads.com. It's a special app that you can put in your blog, and it shows up as a little kind of extra screen, little attachment, if you like, a widget, to use the proper term, that can go on your blog that people can click on and use glutenfreeroads.com. 40,000 restaurants, bars, hotels and supermarkets that offer gluten-free products and menus across the world, and they can your readers can get the use of that direct from your blog. You can integrate it into what you're using already, so that's absolutely fantastic. Good stuff to them. And also congratulations to the incredible bakery company. Now, you may remember we were talking about Valeria from the incredible bakery company several weeks ago now on the GFree Radio Show. She was our guest, talking about how she was setting up the gluten-free bread company and unit somewhere in the Midlands in the United Kingdom, because she developed this fantastic recipe for gluten-free bread. And fantastic news, in this week of weeks as well, the incredible bakery company, the IBC, has finally arrived in Northamptonshire. Their first dedicated production facility is located in the quaint village of Walkton, just outside Kettering, and they're celebrating because this coming Thursday the 15th they're going to be holding a special afternoon tea in Kettering at a top secret location. It's just for special invitees, so I hope that goes really, really well, and they're going to be showcasing their new gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, soy-free products designed especially for the food service. So that's really good, isn't it, that they're providing those for the food service. So hopefully a few more cafes and restaurants, garden centres, little stores, maybe farm markets and so on will be selling some more gluten-free stuff courtesy of the incredible bakery company. So Valeria, you're incredible. Congratulations to you. That's absolutely brilliant. More power to you. And incrediblebakerycompany.co.uk if you want some more details on that. So perhaps the oldest GFree company in the UK, if not in the world, has got to be Barkat, B-A-R-K-A-T. As I say, they've been going for 20 years in the business. Oh boy, an awful lot must have changed over the course of the past 2 decades. And they've got a special Celiac Awareness event on this coming Friday, because it's Celiac Awareness Week in the United Kingdom. So Friday, the 16th of May. We've got details on all of that fast approaching as I speak with Ellis, one of the men behind the brand. The brand is Barkat. It's an unusual name, isn't it? So they must have been asked the derivation of that hundreds of times over the last 20 years. So Barkat, who is Barkat?
It's been a successful yet exciting 20 years. We have seen a huge transformation in the industry. 20 years ago, when I started GlutenFree Foods, along with my father, we started in a very small way. We started with one product, which was what we called back to basics bread mix, which was just add water, mix, and then bake for 40 minutes. That product is still going on today. Now we have a range of over 60 products. We distribute to all the leading pharmacies, the health food stores, a few supermarkets, farm shops, deli shops, garden centres, and then export to over 20 countries worldwide.
Remind me, what is the difference then between Barkat and GlutenFree Foods?
Of course, GlutenFree Foods is the company, is the corporate name of the company. We launched with the Barkat brand in the same month and the same year in 1994. Barkat is a very, very interesting name. Barkat was an evangelist in the New Testament that gave bread to the needy. Barkat also has an Arabic meaning blessing. It's a blessing to give a Barkat. You do a good deed for someone in return gives you a Barkat. I was diagnosed in early 1973. I was only 6 months old. I was the second celiac in my family. My sister was also diagnosed with celiac condition. That prompted my parents to really look into this condition, and they developed a flour. In 1977, my parents opened the first dedicated gluten-free bakery, producing a gluten-free bread that lasted 6 weeks. It was an absolute miracle find for gluten-free patients. In the last 20 years, we've seen the supermarkets open up a free-from dedicated range. We've seen the health food shops expand their range. We've seen the pharmacies supplying gluten-free products. We've seen hospitals serving gluten-free meals. We've seen hotels, restaurants, pizza restaurants, all where you would never have thought about going for a meal. You can now go and have a gluten-free meal. The products are superb. You're eating biscuits that taste like biscuits. You're not eating biscuits that taste like cardboard. Breads that can be taken out of the packet, refreshed at home in the oven, pizza bases, pastas. We now produce gluten-free ice cream cornets.
So what do you think the market is missing at the moment? I mean, is there anything? Is it about saturated? Is there a niche that is still waiting to be filled?
I love that question. And I don't know is the answer to that question. We constantly are looking for new products, and we're constantly bringing out new products launching in the market.
Now, presumably, as you're celiac, you get to taste test all of these, do you?
Probably one of the best things about working at this company is the taste tests. You get to try lots of weird and wonderful combinations of ingredients. For many years, gluten-free products have been very expensive. We try to bring our prices down in relation to generic products on the market. So if something is £1, there is no reason whatsoever to put a price margin on that of £5 just because you can, because it's gluten-free. We try and bring the price down.
So you seem to be saying that you think that some of your competitors are loading the price unnecessarily and unfairly. No, I'm not saying that. I won't say that because I can get myself into a lot of trouble. No, what I mean by that is we are constantly looking for new products. We're constantly looking at the price towards the product, and to ensure that the consumer receives a good quality product and an affordable product at the same time. So how are you going to be celebrating then 20 years of gluten-free foods? What's in line for 2014?
We're opening our office doors to the public on Friday, May the 16th, to come and taste some of the gluten-free products that we have on the market. A chance for them to ask their questions to us about what we've been doing and how we've been doing it. And we've coincided it with Celiac Awareness Week as well. If you go on our website at www.glutenfree- that's the minus sign, foods.co.uk, you can see a range of over 110 products. You can follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at GFBarkat, and also register online to receive our monthly newsletters. So thank you.
GFree Radio, and as is customary at the end of the show, let's take a look at the GFree Tweets of the Week. Thank you very much indeed. So this is where we have a look and see which of those 140 character messages have caught our eye over the last 7 days or so. Jimmy Mac 7 says, when did sex, drugs and rock and roll get replaced with gluten-free, sugar-free and low sodium? Like that, Jimmy. Thanks very much. Here's Kaylee Lee May who goes under the name of That Reza Girl. Hashtag bad pickup lines. Your name must be gluten, because you make me sick, but I crave you late at night. I love that. That is so. Some of these, are really good. What you can get away with, what you can get over in 140 characters. Fantastic stuff. Celiac Mama set the question. This is Langerman Mum. Has your significant other given up gluten for you? That's a good question, isn't it, to ask during Celiac Awareness Week. Reality Diva, who goes by the name of Oz Reality on Twitter. Fantastic biog pic there, by the way, Oz. I have celiac disease and it's a pain in the arse. Sometimes, literally. Boom. And it's always great, isn't it, when someone looks out for you, someone perhaps does you a really good turn when you've got an allergy like celiac disease. And Catatonic, Cat Saber, says, oh, the canteen lady at work took pity on my gluten allergy and gave me extra bacon because I can't have it on a roll, which is really nice. Queen of Nope, who's at Sam Not Winchester, which is a bit of an odd handle, but there you go. Can I trade my celiac disease for another mutation, like X-Men powers or something? And that had a bit of response, including from Dilly Pat, Sassy Grand 70. Oh, if only I'd like to be able to fly like Superman, says Pat. Another couple, just before we let you go for another week. Phoebe says, Phoebe Con. Sometimes a bit tricky to read these names because they're a bit unusual. Phoebe Con on Twitter. Oh, gluten, I love you so. I wish the love was mutual. Which is really, really good stuff, isn't it? And let's find a really pithy one to finish with. Just scrolling down here. And, we've got some nice ones here. Maria Brannigan saying, follow GFree Radio for the world's greatest radio channel on being gluten-free. Check out their show, which I really like that. And also, Teen Fab says something similar as well. So you guys, you're awesome. I love you. Oh, got another one here. Excuse me if I say these. I'm just stumbling across these. GF Life 247. GFree Radio, awesome. Love your focus on celiac. Some of your tweets were really funny. So that's really good as well. And just finding one, a particularly pithy one to finish off with. Let's go with this one. It's your term, Celiac Island, as you take to the floor for the last gluten-free, G-free tweet of the week, which is one of our celiac staff was given an order with Weird Burger written on it because she'd asked for a burger, no bun. Oh, the trials and the tribulations we go through when we try and eat out, eh? Happy, if that's the right word. Yeah, I think so. Celiac Awareness Week / Celiac Awareness Month. So if you've got something going on over the next month, then do let us know. If you've ever got anything going on, do let us know. Also let us know if you'd like to become a sponsor or have an advert on the GFree Radio Show and reach all those hundreds of pairs of ears, and we can set something up for you, which would be absolutely fantastic. So the Twitter name is at GFree Radio, or it's gfreeradio@hotmail.com. Next week on the show, we're going to be having a second part of our interview with Christine Bailey, which we've rolled over from last week, and also Glebe Flowers. We'll be speaking about them. So that they blend flowers, obviously. So we'll be hearing more about what they get up to and what they do. And don't forget to come back and listen on this channel on Monday for that embargoed press release about an increase in the rate of diagnosed cases of celiac disease in the United Kingdom. So we've got much, much more on that in Monday's special kind of mini show, if you like, right here. I keep saying show. What is the name of the show? Show me the name of the show. It is the GFree Radio Show. Who am I? Oh.